I know. I'm getting way ahead of them. You know, this is one of the first songs that I kind of like sat down to really learn to try and play. It was because like it was in, like late '90s, and back then we didn't have this wonderful thing called the fucking internet, or well, we did, but it sucked. I mean, we had computers that did not know how to fucking work. What man? Little that little there dot on my camera. Shit, I was gonna say if that fucking HDR option switched off again, I was like, shit. Man, it took me forever to figure out how to get the fucking thing to work, like stay on, because I don't know. It's a great product. I always bought Tiny SE. It's the one that's got it rotates and it's got the AR following thing, and I got it for like $85. Best fucking $85 I've ever spent. He used that little. He loves to do that. He did a decent bit later in his career where he started doing the. It's like I really think that everybody's just kind of ripped off, or at least borrowed from Wes Montgomery, and what it is it's just a harmonic little double stop. That was in, Couldn't Stand the Weather was when he did that. And he played like 1,000 fucking notes in the middle of it. You can't keep up with what he's doing. Because he's insane. I mean that with all the most respect. He's the most fucking insane blues guitar player that's ever lived. Because of the fact that he could play, didn't matter what it was. Hendrix, he could play any of the Kings. He could play, he could play fucking badass slide. But he could do it even with that almost athletic ability of like a Steve Vai or an Eric Johnson or or Satriani. And it's like that was the thing everybody says, those are the baddest motherfuckers on the planet. It's like, yeah, but Stevie was doing that with blues. And the thing is he was fully and completely accepted by the blues community, like the real I'm talking about like old black dudes, like they're like, nah. It's like what Albert King said about Stevie Ray Vaughan. There ain't but one white boy in Texas got a black daddy, and that's Stevie. I'm his daddy. I fucking loves. And the thing is, he was one of the kind of finicky people that hated like many people. He's like me. He's like, what do you think about the human race? I think they pretty much suck fucking ass, and I'm kind of rooting for the extinction. And there's a few here now that love to death. You absolutely love death. And then, but yeah, I would say the overwhelming majority of them are fucking terrible. They suck. And I think he kind of had the same thing. He was one of the few people he actually did decide he was going to accept, and like. And Sundays has always been a blues thing for me because growing up, or really into my young adulthood, a radio station in Atlanta called Z93 used to have a Sunday blues thing where all Sunday morning they would just play blues stuff. Oh man, well, I hope people had a lovely 4th of July weekend. I still having a problem with sleep. I've passed out for like 2 hours, and then woke up, had to piss real bad, and then for some reason it was like some kind of nervous energy. I couldn't go to sleep. That one thing I'm kind of like, I'm tired. I want to go to sleep. I probably will, but it's like I'm kind of like, one thing you're nervous to go to sleep for some reason. I don't know. It's just, hey, you want to sound the sound? I don't give a fuck. It's an autistic thing, you know, where we've had. It's kind of well known for us to have issues like that, and it just, you know, it sucks. It's the reason why we have such a high suicide rate. You know, people ask me like, what are you doing with your life? You know, because you're disabled, but you don't work. I said, well, I would volunteer, but they find a way to make that fucking suck too. And I would have anxiety and panic attacks. It'd be fucking horrible, you know, because like I said, it has been my experience that extremely high percentage of the human race fucking suck, and I hate them. I'll fucking die in extinction. I hope it's coming soon too. Fuck all y'all. So yeah, I'm still dealing with that. So if I seem a little fucking cranky, that probably explains it. But I did have a good thing. Although I was frustrated as shit trying to be at work yesterday. I'll admit, that's one of the things where it may be hard for me, for people to be around me, because you know we have like these things that look like Tourette's moments where, you know, it's gonna happen. You know, well, you have to work on that. So, yeah, I tried for like 40 something years, and all it did was cause me horrible anxiety and worse than depression. It's actually a lot better for me to let it happen, because you know it's natural. You know, I'm this natural being that, you know, disability I am. It's how much there's like, we're going to teach you how to not be autistic. It's like, I'm going to teach you not to fuck with people like me, because I love to get revenge, okay? Don't fuck with me. Trust me. So I don't want to harm nobody, but if you going to harm me, I will get you back. I finally got me a big boy screen. Seriously, I did. See, when I bought all this shit, and I realized, oh fuck, I got this screen, and it really wasn't. I couldn't figure out what I wanted, you know. And plus, everything was kind of pricey. But then I saw something that was marked down really cheap. It was like $65 or something. I think it's pretty nice for what it is. You know, it's one of those portable monitors, 15.6 inch. You know, pretty nice. 1080p. You know, it's a IPS screen. And I put it on one of my boom arms with a little adapter plate, you know, and yeah, it didn't really work out well. I didn't really. It worked fine for a while, but if you hit a little too hard, and it'll go like this, it'll go, you know, just like the weight will pull it one way or the other, and it won't stay up. So what I did was I said, well, you know, the first month I got most of the computer stuff. Then the next month I'm like, all right, well, I gotta get me a real camera, because this fucking phone shit ain't gonna work. I'm tired of doing it. I want to get a dedicated, decent, you know, and I realized I didn't have to get a DSLR. I have to get a mirrorless. Those are for people who are like, oh my God, what will people think about me if I don't have the most expensive fucking shit you could have? I would rather have a really nice setup where it's like, yeah, and I did it where it's like I didn't have to buy, like, you know, like people are like, got these cameras that are like $15,000, you know, for one of those Sony or something, you know, mirrorless or whatever. They use them to make fucking movies, like real movies, like movies that make millions or hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, yeah, I don't need that. And plus, even on the used market, it's hard to find shit. You know, to get a decent, like, used DSLR, because that's what I really was wanting to get. That way I look like I'm somebody important. But instead, I got this little bitty ass fucking webcam that is kick fucking ass, because I guarantee you this. If I went up a notch or two, that fucking thing would kick the shit out of half the DSLRs on the market, probably. Because all we need is to do shit like this. We don't need something to go out and film a fucking movie with. You know, yeah, it takes a great picture, and you can make beautiful video with it, but it also requires intense fucking understanding of it. And it's like, it's been 30 years. I can't believe it's been 30 fucking years ago. Oh my God, it was so long ago. Since I took pornography in college, you know, where we used to make our own. I mean, seriously, I started with a Nikon fully manual E series, you know, with a 35mm stock lens, and I had like a, I can't remember. I think my zoom lens was about that long. Oh, I forgot how to do that. See, that motherfucker's smart as shit, man. It's like a good boy. You're a good boy. Yes, you are, Ozzy. You're a good boy. You did what you're supposed to do. If I didn't mean for you to do that, you still do what you're supposed to do. We'll work on that you read my mind shit later, okay? See, I've had some girlfriends that watch try that shit, and when they sit there and they fucking psychologically torture you because you don't know how to read their fucking mind, it look like they're having fun. So I'm going to do that in this fucking camera for a little while, too. Oh, man, it's going to get hot. It's supposed to be like 93. I'm going to go on my fucking mind because I'm tired. It's hard for me to sleep when it's hot. I just suffer. And I just deal with it. I mean, I'm gonna bitch and cry about it, but you know, so I'm just living through it, dealing with it. But yeah, it's one of those things where, oh man, holiday weekends, you know, can be difficult time. I think that's probably has something to do with it. Why it is that having a hard time sleeping or whatever, but. I finally was able to put my training wheels monitor down because it was like $45. And it's portable. It came with like this little cheap ass pouch thing. You can put, it fit in my backpack. I can take it with me if I want to. So I got that. But see, I'm thinking about I'm probably going to get another mount somehow, or I'm going to figure out a way to put this right next to that. I'm going to use a dual monitor. I'm going to turn that little fucker sideways. And what I'll probably do is I like to move the control panel for the Ozbot over to that one. You know what I mean? So that I can use more of a full screen for my my OSB, OBS, whatever. Yeah, I'm dyslexic. Get the fuck over it. But, oh, wrong way. There we go. See? Got me a real monitor now, and it's not one of them articulatory arms, you know. And I need to clean up my desk. I had it looking pretty good the other day, and I got this shit and it got all over the place last night, and I was so fucking wore out. I was like, fuck this shit. I'll deal with it tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, it you know, what pissed me off too is after I got that arm together, got that thing, which is frustrating. I'm already fucking tired and shit. And thing was then I got the cords on it. It didn't come with an HDMI cord. It came with it came with a power cord, like it looks like something goes, you're supposed to use for a pedal, guitar pedal. It's coming on Barrel Plus. Oh shit, what the fuck is this? They still make shit like this? That's not for guitar pedals? Like, fuck. But apparently it only runs on 12 volt. I guess because it's a LED and it's, this is a VA screen. And that was the thing when I looked at the difference between IPS and VA. It seemed like VA was the one I prefer to have. That one's an IPS, and at first I thought, this is fucked up. I tried to get the HDR to kick in on it, like I'd turn it on, and it would fuck with the contrast really bad. And it was like I could barely even read the text. I was like, what the fuck is this? I don't know. I just said, fuck this shit. I turned the HDR off. I left it. It looks good today. It didn't look very good yesterday. So I don't know if it just takes time to settle in or what. I don't know. Maybe it got preheated like a fucking oven or some shit. I don't know. I'm not an expert on these, and I have not bought like a real computer. Like the closest thing to a real computer screen I bought was the one I just took down, and but it was like $100 for the screen and the mount for one of those, like the specific for that was like cheap. I got it for like $14. That's fucking cheap as shit because you can't usually find them for less than 20. I was going to buy a dual one for 30, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy this one and see how it works. It's like, because if you buy a dual one, they're on one plate. But what if I don't want them mounted, the arms in the same spot? It actually gives me more freedom of movement that I could have two separate mounts. So I was like, fuck it, I can buy two for less than it would be for a double one. If I decided I didn't want another one, I can get that one. But I'm thinking about using it in conjunction with this one because that seems to be like what all the fucking cool nerds are doing now. And I want to fit in, so I mean, I don't really want to. I want to trick them into thinking I fit in, so that I can use it, gain their confidence, take advantage of them, manipulate the fuck out of those motherfuckers. Because don't trust those computer nerds, man. Most of them are criminals. Oh yeah, big balls. Yeah, perfect example. Oh, he's just a computer. And he's harmless. It's like, yeah, whatever. You ever see War Games? Shall we play a game? The only way to play the game and win is to not play the game. Which is very wise words. Especially because the only thing we know for sure is that we don't know jack shit. Oh man, I'll tell you what. 90 fucking 3 degrees there. Fuck, I hate that shit. God, I hate when it's hot and it's fucking wet and shit. My fucking balls stuck in my goddamn thigh. Get up and go take a piss. Get up too fast and I fucking want pulling one of them fallopian tubes or whatever. That shit hooks my balls up to my dick and fucking that shit'll fucking hurt for for hours or days. Fuck all that. God almighty. There's one thing that was nice about California is that if you lived out in east of San Diego, east of LA, then you live in the fucking Sahara Desert. You know, it's like one of the hottest places on like the daily. It's like Phoenix, but sometimes even worse. But if you live closer towards town or towards the ocean, it doesn't really feel ever that hot. Even when it says, what's the high gonna be today? 83? Oh, okay, that's not bad. And it's like, and then you go outside and go, is it really up to 83 today? Because the air feels like it's cooler than the temperature says. It's like you can feel the sun. It's like, yeah, the sun don't really hurt that bad. Like in the south, it's like you're all covered with sweat and shit, and that fucking sun bakes that fucking salty sweat right into you. I just gotta learn that as long as it's like below 85, if it's a real dry climate, it feels great. Fine, okay, whatever. I can be outside as long as I'm in direct sunlight because that should give me a headache and I'll get miserable and I'll start getting cranky. But you know. Fuck, what else I was going to talk about? So yeah, things are changing. You know, I'm always like, you know, trying to look like I'm not as much of a loser as I really am. Because I gotta get a big boy monitor. I can't have that little piece of shit. You know, people come over here. Like, I want to do interviews and shit eventually. I mean, I'm still working on what direction I want to go with it. Yeah, right. I don't want to do that all minds matter thing because then it looks like I'm just trying to virtue signal, and that's something that's fixing to die out real bad. Even though I'm doing it to mock all brains belong, you know, autistic minds matter was supposed to be a response to that. So I can do a better job in mocking you than you could ever do being serious. I feel sorry for them because that's the kind of place that this administration is going to go after. When they go after you, they're going to go after y'all fucking hard as shit with cruel fucking tactics. And I feel sorry because the thing is, I look at it and they go, oh, they're attacking sports. Oh, no, they're a fucking leech organization. Fuck them. They're the reason why we're having these issues. You're giving them the narrative that looks a lot more correct than the narratives we would prefer. But, oh man, the world's going to hell. Yeah, this is my favorite Strat, by the way. This is the one that's like if I was just gonna have one, I have this one. It's probably because it's the most like a real Strat. I mean, it's a square neck. It's an Allen Eden aftermarket hardtail alder in seafoam green, and which is usually my favorite color. Even I have a particular fondness for the 3-tone sunburst because of Stevie. But I also tend to like white ones but I usually I don't like a white on white, so I'll do like a white with a black bar like my white Strat is. And then I got this fucker back here. It's like a pearl eggshell color. So fucking telly wannabe. And shit, what was I gonna do? I don't know. I'm just fucking glad I got the screen now because it's like fuck, I could see it. Whoa, I can actually see what's going on. It's like all the way on the edge of the desk, but I can still see what the fuck's going on. Like the other one's like, I have no fucking clue. I can sort of see the picture of, you know, me, because I have to keep an eye on it, make sure it's well, probably because I'm a narcissist or some shit. I don't know. I probably got some issues I should work on. But, I mean, when you look this good for 50, you want to check it out. You know, I'm like hot as shit for like 27 or something, but for 50, man, oh yeah, I get them panties dropped. So... didn't bother to warm up and get my fingers. Although I'm not playing it bad for being tired, exhausted. It's hot as shit outside. My fingers are still kind of not. See it, fucking 100 frames per second, man, is great for shit like that. It's like I can actually see my fingers move without it, like blurring but And this is the one I usually reserve for E flat tuning, because it's got a slightly more vintagey kind of setup to it. It's a 9.5 inch radius, because it actually is a Fender. Now, if you get anything that's Fender in the last 20 or 30 years, it's going to be a 9.5 inch radius unless it's like a special model, like some sort of like they made some that were kind of like a bridge between super strats and regular strats. So they might put like a decent healthy humbucker in the bridge, and they might drop it down to a 12 inch radius, or they might make a special that's just got like a Floyd and a locking nut, which is fucking sacrilege. Don't do that shit unless you're Eddie fucking Van Halen. Don't. It's got the 70s, the fat 70s headstock like a Jimi Strat would have. And I always leave it in E flat because that's what Jimmy and what Stevie and a couple other people did. But it's like John Mayer's the other one I play a lot of, and I can't really, because I can is like I can. But it's kind of like remembering, oh wait, this one's a step down, so I have to play, instead of playing it on G, I gotta play it on G sharp or whatever. Okay, it is. Okay, so it'll be A flat. So that's G, that's A flat, that's A. And it's like, and that's what I hate. Is like, I wish John Mayer would have played half a step down like Stevie and Jimmy did. Those are huge influences on him. I don't know why he doesn't. Now, why you got to show off, be like, man, I don't have no problems playing 11s and standard tuning on a Strat with a 7 1/4 inch radius. Don't bother me none. So yeah, I'm sure it don't, motherfucker. Could do us a favor though. Strats are way better at half tune. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. They play better, they sound better, they feel better because it's slightly longer, scale length. They play a shitload better that way. Just a half step down. You go half step down, and I could go up a side or two in strings before it starts to affect my way of playing, or slows me down like this. These are 9.5s. It's like in between 9 and a 10. Back in the day, I used to play 11s. Ernie Ball 11s, and always at a half step down. And I actually played pretty well with those. What I like about it is you could do a lot of. It's a little harder to do. Where you can, instead of just aiming just for that one note, you can hit that note, but then hit all those muted strings. So it gives you kind of like a percussive, like. Okay, one. Oh yeah, Robert Cray is another one that played in standard tuning with 11s, and in recent years he has finally bitched out, and he didn't switch strings. Still plays 11s, but now I noticed that when he was playing phone booth, instead of right here, I saw him doing that. He slides into it from the. I also think he kind of pulls up that pinky in between, Instead of like regular minor chord, he does it the major form. shit like that, something like that. I think he actually plays it up here though. He plays it, in more of an open thing. But I can't. I've never been able to play very well like playing lead or playing open notes. So, unless it's like where I can use, where I'm starting with here. It's something about when you switch to the open. Like some things I've learned, I'll never forget. A little bit too much. There's a little too much ground at low, and so it's kind of hard to. And it's because I forced myself to remember. I mean, I probably took me like 2 weeks of just obsessed with trying to get that particular arrangement of things. Is that Mary had a little lamb. Her face was black as coal. And it's like, that was Stevie covering Buddy, because Buddy was the first one to do it, and Stevie did it. Stevie actually did a really good job covering. He really kind of improved it some ways. He actually gave it a little chunkier sound to it, and he slowed the tempo just slightly. It was like, because like Buddy would play in a weird timing. I guess that's the way he played. That's you love it or hate it. And then Stevie comes along and he does his. He seems like a second part, He steps up the middle, the couple of notes in the middle. He kind of puts them together a little quicker, just so it keeps them one at a time. But I picked all kind of little things where it's like, he does that little. He did that on Couldn't Stand the Weather. But you see that to me, like he's like reverse engineering some old Jimi stuff. Like the Band of Gypsies. Who knows? That's fucking around with shit like this is pretty much the only thing that will keep me from going over the edge. Like Hunter S. Thompson said, the edge is that's a hard one to explain, because the only people who know where the edge is have already gone over it. That's such a good sounding guitar, though. That's a great sounding Strat. It's like, guarantee I could put this up against a lot of I put this up a lot of $1,500 fucking Strats they got down there at either Advance or Guitar Center, and this fucker's gonna sound better and play better. It just is. And that's why, like I tell people, it's like sometimes you always got to work on stuff of maintenance and improving. Because buying a new guitar, something it'll take you years to really break in before you like it, and then it might take some more years before you love it, and then it takes some more years before you're like, if you touch my fucking guitar, I will fucking beat you to death with my own hands. You got me? Okay, thank you. And you'll get to be that kind of protective way about them after a while. And it's like this neck right here is one of those necks where it's like, I know it's gonna have one of these days I'm gonna have to just part ways with it, and I'm gonna be sad. This came off of my 70s. I just say classic 570s because people recognize that. But what it classified 70s replaced is the Squire Vintage Modified series, and that was off of it. And it's been great. The tuners still work great. It's got a real rosewood fretboard, not some bullshit Indian Laurel or some Wingay or whatever. It's been dyed and it looks too reddish. And then I'm okay with Palfaro. It's a little bit lighter color. It's a little brighter, but it's kind of like in between, like a rosewood and a maple. I like ebony boards too, but you really got to put it on something that's thick sounding. If you don't realize that, ebony boards are kind of bright and punchy. They sound great on like a Les Paul Custom without Dakota 2 vintage pickups, but put that on something that's already kind of bright. Like put that on like a Strat with an ash body and some like underwound Alnico 550 style pickups, and that thing's going to fucking screech every time you try to get down. You get into the high frequency, it's going to always sound terrible. It's just not right for it. And it's one of the things I started doing was I started just putting like those fucking Strat buckers, dual rail, this Marzia Super Distortion Strat pickup. Well, it's not. It's a fucking Korean clone, but you can't tell the difference. It only costs like $20. I could pay you $100 for the Marzia. Fuck that shit. Get that Korean kid, make that shit for $20. Here you go. It's still not kind of like got enough to really get it going though. Then I finally got my my drive stuff to work, at least sound right, cause somewhat right, cause it sounded like shit for like weeks. I tried to get things sound fine. I figured well, this is a half step out, so it might not sound right in some things. So, but I saw something on TV. I saw some video come up, recommendations talking about Ozzy. It's like the last show. Like, I guess we're advertising. This is his last show. It's like, yeah, they're saying it for 25 fucking years. So don't trust Sharon Osbourne. She's a fucking con artist. She's also, I think she's all, I'm not saying that she is Satan. I'm just saying that she's the cousin of Satan, all right? Close enough. I swear to God, pitch creeps me out. Love Ozzy. I seem to like all the people around him. But she's just like a person who's like, she reeks of like, she grabbed hold of Ozzy because she knew something her dad didn't, that he was a fucking full-time permanent meal ticket. And that's one reason why she puts up with his shit, is because he makes millions on that crazy shit that he does. I'm like, yeah, fucker, still fucker. It's like, goddamn, Ozzy, you poor bastard. You probably just want to go home and put a blanket over you, drink a little brandy, and pass out. It's like, that's what you want to do, don't you? It's like, they keep dragging you out here to fucking perform. Go, well, it's your last one, Ozzy. Hey, Shaman, are we going to? I'm still singing. I haven't retired. Okay, well, let's go. He's always like completely out of it. He's been like that for like 40 fucking years. And it's like she's just kind of, it's kind of like it's like what Doug Stanhope said about what's his name, what he said about he was talking about the Lady and the Champ, the guy from Raging Bull, like the real life guy from Raging Bull used to live at Bisbee there, and he was like, yeah, he's still alive, but it's just there's lights are on, but trust me, ain't nobody home. He's like, and it seems like she's just kind of doing to Ozzy what that dude's like 60-year-old trophy wife is doing to him, just kind of milking him, keep herself going along, and he's like an oddity. He's like, check out, I got that old. Do you remember the guy from Raging Bull, the violent, psychopath, fucking, narcissist? Yeah, it's like, yeah, he's my husband. He's still alive. Can you believe that? He's fucking old as shit. He's still alive. And after about boxing and being fucking mean and violent and shit, it's like that dude should die years ago. And he said he wasn't even really like a person though. There wasn't nothing there. He was totally out of it. He's like he was sitting there one time on the sofa when they came over to visit his house, and he said he pulled out his pack because he still fucking smokes because he ain't no fucking quitter. And he's like, he says he knows him looking around, see if anybody would take him outside because he's not sure where to go or what to do. And he just, looks over and says, no, oh, champ, no, it's okay. You can smoke in here. Go ahead. He's like, huh? He's like happy as shit, like he was smoking a cigarette indoors in years, And it's like, damn. He's like old as shit. You don't like have to get up and walk out the fucking door and, and like break his fucking hip or something. Oh, here's it came up on. I turned the volume down, but it came up on the playlist. This is Who Knows, Jimi Hendrix and the Band of Gypsies, live from the Fillmore East, New Year's 1969. I know. And it's one of those albums that's like it's like love it or hate it. There are people who are like, that fucking album was bad fucking ass, and it's just I don't know. It's just they'll say something that sounds like it's rather derivative. Of like it's almost like they're trying to pander to like the new soul and R&B scene or something. It's like, shut the fuck up. It was really the first album or the only real album he ever did solo without Noel Redding and without Mitch Mitchell. Yeah. It's like, I think it was like Noel Redding was trying to be a bitch about stuff, act like he was as important as Jimi, and Jimi was like, yeah, okay, whatever, dude. You're a pretty good bass player, but you're fucking nobody compared to me. You're only famous because I'm famous and you played for me. And Mitch Mitchell's one of the baddest but drummers ever lived. I was like, all right, when y'all get this shit, worked out, y'all give me a call, And he went running into a buddy of his, Buddy Miles, that they started military together. He's a badass drummer. I mean, he's not the same as Mitch Mitchell. Mitch Mitchell's got this strange, like very quick, it's like trying to take a jazz foundation and then applying it to this interesting blues rock type thing. Like Jimi Hendrix reinvented rock music basically, and part of what helped did that was the fact that Mitch Mitchell wasn't actually a rock drummer. He was a jazz drummer trying to adapt his style to fit. It worked great, and now he's got a drummer who's actually he's like a funk drummer. This is the kind of guy who's probably listened to a lot of the JBs and James Brown records. He probably loved funky drummer and shit. He probably thought Bernard Purdie was the shit. And so he did this, and he said Jimi didn't like this album. He didn't like it. And then he kind of regretted doing it or something. And it was like, poor him, I guess. It's like, they recorded it live. And then he wound up dying, I think, about 8 or 9 months later. So it was his last album. I think it was the last real album that was released, but they released a bunch after he died too. So he's I love that little trill hook. It took me like 3 or 4 days to get that. I doubt. One thing that a lot of people don't seem to know about Jimi is if you're gonna play like like a traditional Strat, like a vintage one from like 50s or 60s, most of the higher gain stuff he plays on the middle pickup alone. That's the middle pickup. Because the problem is with a bridge pickup is although it will kind of give you a grittier sound, it's so bright and harsh that it breaks up too much. But if you use the neck pickup, it's a little too thick. You know, when you want, it's hard to cut through the mix. You know what I'm saying? A fuzz kind of helps that because it kind of is one of the few things you can really get a decent, really high gain tone with by using a neck pickup. But it turns out most of the harder stuff he would play on the middle. Like that high end, you still get. There's like a main compression. And now on my guitar, I do a special winding setup, or I do a special wiring for the pickups. I have this tendency to make a choice. Now what I'll do is, especially when I got like a bridge pickup on here, like this one has got this Strat pickup, right? It's got this humbucker in the bridge, so it's like what I do is, God damn it. I didn't think it was out there. It's fucking obvious, isn't it? And so they got super distortion, right? And when you do this, you have to swap your pickups around. You're gonna have to swap the neck in the middle. I mean, you don't have to, but unless you're a fucking idiot, So what I do is I tend to, because this is supposed to go with the middle pickup, but now you got to move it up here, because if you leave it the way it was, it's like it won't work right, because it's like when you have whenever you put a humbucker in a bridge, you usually swap these around. Well, what I do is, instead of doing that, I leave them where they are, but I'll swap it around on the switch. So what I'll have is this, the first setting will be your humbucker. Let me get something I can show you. Like, this is the way you test to see which one's hooked up. And then the 2 setting. Now that one, so instead of a bridge to the middle, it's a bridge to the neck, because those are the ones that will actually work together. So instead of having to swap the pickups, I just swap it on the switch. So that's the, you get your bridge alone, and then you got your bridge and neck, then you got your middle. Well, actually, that's the neck and middle, and then middle. So it's like you have to get used to a new order, where the selections are. But when you mix a humbucker, especially a high gain one like that, with that, the middle pickup that's in the middle position, or if you move the neck down, it even if you get the polarity straightened out, it never sounds right. But if you put it with the neck, which is farther away, it'll kind of sound like a telly a little bit on the in-between setting. I mean, not perfect, but because it still will be a little too heavy for the, be still a little too heavy, compared to a regular tail, because a regular tail is going to be like 6.5K, and then that's going to be like 7K, versus this where it's like, that's like 6.25, and this one's like fucking 15 and a half or 16 or something, I can't remember. And that's the bridge of the neck. It has that kind of more percussive, sound like a telly, the in between setting. The neck. Down the neck and middle. Middle. When you play that middle by itself, when you're playing that higher gain stuff, the reason why is because it leaves the middle still kind of chunky, but the low end is not nearly as bad as the neck pickup alone, or in the in between. Plus, it still leaves a little bit of bite, like you would, expect from a bridge. It's going to be a little thicker. So, I don't know, it's just one of those things where he does all these strange things that people wonder, well, why do you do this? Why do you do this? I'm sure it was because he's a freak like all of us. Anybody who's like, because I think Jimi, is one of my people too. If you ever see the interviews of him and see how he acted, he has a lot of strange quirks of someone who's autistic. And he was, even though goes on stage and he could perform and come off like a Greek god, like a hedonism god, music. But yet, at the same time, when he does interviews, he's very shut off. He doesn't make eye contact. Very rarely. He's like very, he has some strange tendency to kind of match that. He dresses weird. Back then they saw it as stylish. Yeah, well, if he wasn't a rock star, they'd call him a faggot and they'd beat him up and take all his clothes. So if he went to the wrong neighborhood, especially somewhere in the South, and that's the way it was. And he did all these things that were kind of odd, but yet at the same time, he had this weird genius way about him. When it came, especially to music, the gear, and to how to alter, modify, things with minimal ease that would really change his sound. Like he was one of the first people to really just say, I don't really care if it's not in the right, if it's not what y'all consider appropriate or proper. And he would play a lot of double stops, He's not like, forming a chord, or he just do a lot of those double stops so it would fill it in, because he's got to keep usually a strangely funky rhythm about it, and then play lead and sing all that. He's like, I think he was also one of those people. It's like I think when I've tried to learn some of his stuff, like when he'll play something like in an A major, it's like, oh, it's not A major. Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, why does he play it like that? Because I think when he plays certain parts of Born Under a Bad Sign, which is Albert King's song, which is. He'll play that part too, but then when he's doing some solo, parts of it will be like. It's like he plays, the relative B minor, but he didn't even play it in a way like, I think some other people would, It's like, John Mayer talks about the pentatonic equator. And it's like, I know what he's talking about. I see it in a slightly different way. It's like, you got your A minor. So that's your A minor. So, well, here's how you play A major, and the same thing, but basically, you want to go up to the A is right here. Minor is this way, major is this way. I think that's what. But and that's also part because you get that from blues, where the blues artists who will play that way. God damn it! I keep missing that. They'll do that where it's like this is actually a C major they're playing. So maybe if you say it's C major. See, I always miss it going up. I got so used to playing A minor. It's like, yeah, I kind of follow that same thing, but I'll put it in a different position, put it in a different place, and it's like instead of doing the A major up here, I'll do a slight difference. It's like that. If you're gonna play it the long way. But like y'all give a fuck anyway about my opinion of music or gear. I don't know. I mean, the point of YouTube is to get on there and talk about shit and not give a fuck whether anybody has any interest in it or not. See if you can manipulate them into watching your videos anyway. That's like an autism dream. Yeah. I'm already starting to sweat. Like I was like, yeah, I got like sweat rolling down the crack of my ass, and no, it's not like one of them fucking hip hop videos from early 2000s. To the window, to the walls, till the sweat runs down my balls. Oh, these bitches crowd. Ah, skate, 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 skate. What? Oh man, I gotta tell you what. I'll say it for another time. We used to have this kid that worked at Papa John's when I was at Emory, who looked like a giant. He looked like a fucking Falcons player. Like he looked like a linebacker or something. And he's not big and thick enough to be like a lineman, maybe a linebacker or maybe safety or something. And big dude, but he was like big, and if you didn't know him, he looked scary. But he had the mind of like a 6 or 7 year old, which means that he was R-worded of some kind, and he loved working there. And I got him doing that whole. That was still when Dave Chappelle, before Dave Chappelle was called a racist, or I don't know what they call him, homophobe. And it's like he's like a 50-year-old black guy. What 50-year-old black guy in this country's not kind of homophobic a little bit. It's kind of a common thing with him, if you hadn't noticed. I mean, I don't think he is. I think he's been wrongly described that way. They're not paying attention to his sarcasm. They don't get it. It's like, if you don't get what Dave Chappelle is saying, it's probably not him. It's probably you. I got him doing that was like he'd go, what? Damn it, it cut out. What? Yeah, okay. And like I'll be at the front of the store and I go, what? And then like we hear like in a delay for the back store, yeah. And I go, okay. People would laugh their fucking ass off to come in there and they go, oh, that's cute. It's like, and then You'd have some smug fucking, liberal, neoliberal wannabe come in there and go, I can't believe the way they treat him. Like, that kid has more fucking fun coming to work at Papa John's than he's ever had in his whole fucking life. And you're going, that's what bothers you is we look like a bunch of dumbass rednecks, and we're this dude's having a ball. But I taught him how to pepperoni pizzas. No one would ever let him on the make line. I taught him how to pepperoni pizzas. And he loved that shit. He got to where he said, oh no, it gets 32. 3-2, and I'm like, okay, motherfucker, goddamn, who promoted your ass? I'm the fucking boss around here, kid. And they weren't taking him out because he was having too much fun. God forbid he feel like he was actually contributing in a way that was meaningful. At least in his mind, he did. And then the lady didn't like that shit because that was her job. Her job was to make sure that she was the one that got taking any credit for anything. We were not even trying to take credit for it. We just thought it was kind of cool. It was like, hey, man, you want to make pizza? Make pizza? What? Huh? Really? I make pizza. Okay, come on. And here's what you do. And I just show them. The thing is, what's fine, I want to show them one time how to do it right. And I went nice and slow. I showed them one time. I was like, you mimic me. You do just like I'm doing over here. I already have one, stretched out, sauce and cheese. And go ahead. I mean, I'm the regional training manager. If I can't teach this kid how to make a fucking pizza, nobody can. And he loved that shit. Fucking loved it. But they only want him full boxes. It's like, that's the most mundane, shitty fucking existence you could imagine. But that's not the point. It's a point for the state to look like they give a fuck about people who have, some sort of intellectual disability, some meaningful, thing to do. Meaningful? He's sitting in a fucking corner full of boxes. We made him a part of the crew. We put him on a make line. The kid's smiling all the time. He's going, ooh, at customers, who ask him a question. Go, sorry, we let him watch that Dave Chappelle show, man. He won't give it up. And they're like, oh, okay. They'll go, is he special? And I'm like, oh, man, look at a different retarded kid. Isn't this sweet? It's like, I still don't understand why it is. And now, they said, Joe Rogan said, we're taking retarded back. And it's like, dude, you took retarded back a couple decades ago, all right? The fact that people try to find this slur, and I saw some video where some guy was saying, for people who have relatives, or close friends that, are have intellectual disability, it's really offensive and hurtful. It's like, yeah, because you have a reason to feel guilty about that. But that has nothing to do with the person who actually is that condition. And I hate when people try to, by proxy, steal something. That's a slur. It's like, why? Because you got a cousin that's retarded, all of a sudden it's a slur? Well, it hurts my feelings. Talk about it. Maybe it's because you feel guilty because you don't ever spend time with your retarded cousin, and he probably is sad that you don't. How come you don't visit? I got video games. You won't come play? And it's like they're always ready to fucking hook up and have some fun, and yet nobody will go see them. It's like here, why you can't say the R word? Or they'll say, yeah, he said the R word. See, what do you mean, retarded? Yeah, that's not a slur. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. And no, I'm not a Joe Rogan fan. Fuck Joe Rogan. Our retard was great. That's the thing that got me was I go down there to the city market, and they can't even get your fucking cheeseburger in the bag. When you buy one of them ready-made things, they'll set it off the side somewhere, and they don't even tell me that's their process. Like, does it sound like I'm from around here, motherfucker? How about you put it in a fucking bag like every other fucking grocery store in the fucking world does? And the thing was, I remember I was telling somebody about it. They were laughing their ass off at me, too. They thought it was hilarious. I said, my retard could have got that cheeseburger in that fucking bag. But yet these fuckers up here are 35 years old, probably have a college degree, and they're out, and they were last week, having a fucking strike, We want better paid treatment. It's like, are you shitting me? Really? I bet y'all have the best pay and treatment at any fucking grocery store in the world up here. And your smug ass fucking, we're like the wealthy hippie market. It's like, and I was just like, when they were having a strike, I hope they fire one of them motherfuckers. It's like I got this sympathy for those bitches. Because every time I go in there, they act like, oh, we're so much better than you. Okay, well, why can't anyone actually look me in the eye when I say something or acknowledge what I said or laugh at the joke if it was funny? I'm just trying to be personable. And they're, yeah, sir, you're tall. And then leave my $9 fucking cheeseburger sitting on their counter. I said in the bag. Like I said, my retard knows to put everything in the bag. How come your retard don't? Your retards went to college. Mine didn't. He figures shit out easily. Maybe pandering to these people and making them, you're all special, you're all rock stars, and you all are going to get trophies even if you didn't participate. You just said, I wanted to be on the football team. Okay, well, you get a football trophy. Like, no, that's the reason why we're having the problems we're having now. And it's from both sides. It's not just liberals, not just Democrats, not just the conservatives. And like I say, conservatives, bless their heart, you can't beat the village idiot for being stupid. If that's ever going to correct itself, it's going to be an evolutionary process. It's going to take a long time. But what we can do is stop the people from in the middle and further to the left from fucking things up worse by constantly arguing about semantics or constantly arguing about, we both had the same goal, but one is for sure the other one is a moron, can't do anything. And it's kind of like, well, that sounds like we have a lot of narcissism on the left too. You know, and that's the thing is y'all won't let me be involved because y'all figure I actually do know every fucking thing, and y'all are all a bunch of fucking morons. Y'all be thankful that I'm there to save your fucking dumb asses from all the stupid mistakes y'all make. And no, I'm not a narcissist. I'm not conceited. I'm convinced. Yeah, the hot, sticky weather makes me irritable, if you hadn't tell. If y'all would just be okay with me, like, you know, emotionally and verbally abusing the flying fuck out of y'all, almost to the extent where it almost seems violent, I would feel so much better. I mean, I'm the one with the fucking disability. I have a heart. And if you're wondering, did I go to school to learn this? I never took a lesson my whole life. And right as I started playing, I already did pretty well at like expressive blues stuff, like pretty quickly. What takes some people like fucking years to learn because they have no confidence, or they don't know that if you think you can't do it, you'll never be able to do it. But you know. What really brought me to want to play blues was that whole, like the Albert King, B.B. King, and Stevie Ray Vaughan kind of way of playing, where they're really expressive. I could do stuff like that actually pretty quickly. I don't really understand theory. Or like, I don't play a shitload of chords because it ain't worth it. I'll find a double stop that'll fit. It's like, what is it? Johnny Highland said, hey, fake it till you make it, man. When I got to Nashville, I realized I had a problem because I was not a very knowledgeable, chord person, like a rhythm chord person. And he just... So he just did a lot of double stops. It's like Billy Gibbons, one of the greatest guitar players ever. It's just, he's basically playing the minor pentatonic, but he's mimicking like he's playing the chords with double stops. Because he's got to sing and play guitar at the same time. So if he could keep everything in that little realm right there, because it's in G. You better fucking... Why does it do that? Are you having a problem? Are you having a problem at home, Ozzy? Oh, we're going to send you for a drug test. You keep your shit up. After like a certain amount of time, it'll say, watch. All you got to do is just hit the autofocus off and on. Yeah. It loses its point of reference after a while for some reason. Fucking great product, though. Oh, shit. Alright. I accidentally fucking closed out the Ozbot app. Well, y'all have a good one. I'm going to try and go get cool and out my... Now that my narcotic drugs are kicked in, I could actually do some other things without being too fucking irritable about it. Alright. Love y'all. Bye. Say hi to your mama then for me. Yeah, tell your mama your grandmama called me.